What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, programmers of all ages? Welcome back to yet another tutorial. So in last week's tutorial, we added image player sprites to the boss character, and I also said that I wanted to go through and make it so that the boss monster is stung whenever we hit him, just to ensure that or whenever he attacks us through melee, so that he doesn't like stick onto us the whole time. So in this tutorial, we are going to do what I said we were going to do in last tutorial. So to get things started, open bossmonster.hx. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is add a new private variable called stun bar, which is a float. Then we want to initialize stun bar equals 0.0. Cool. Next up, under the update function, so after these two, we want to say if stun bar is less or equal to 0.0, then we want to take this part, so cut it. We just select all that. So we say if the boss is not currently stunned, then it should have the ability to attack. Next up is else if stun bar is greater than 0.0. So if the boss monster is currently stunned, stun bar minus equals elapsed. And finally, just for the sake of my own sanity, since I don't really like things being less than 0 if I only want it to be 0 or more, so we say if the stun var is less than 0.0, then we want to say stun var equals 0.0. So just to cap it at 0 or above. Cool. Next, and then finally we want to go down to just above the attack function. So here we say public function and then stun. And then here we can say stun var equals 2.0. So, or let's make it 1.0. So we stun the boss monster for 1 second. I believe it's the correct way to see it. Cool. So this should be everything we need for this file. Now you can close down the file and then open playstate. Cool. So now scroll down to update function. So here we handle the ranged monsters, the projectiles. So, and then over here we do collision detection. So over here at overlap, so flxg.overlap, that is between the boss monster and the projectiles. And it wants a callback function. Now all this time we've been using these functions that we create down here, and then we just pass the function name up here. But there is another way to do this, a bit more of an anonymous function. So we can say the braces, the first variable would be monster and boss monster. The second variable would be projectile of type projectile, and then arrow function. Don't forget your curly braces. So if projectile dot get spawner equals underscore player, then we say projectile dot kill, so destroy the projectile, and monster dot stun. So stun the boss monster. Cool. And then after the first collision detection function between the player and melee characters, we want to say fg.collide. So this is between the boss, the player, and the boss monster. And again, it will be an anonymous function. So we say player of type player and monster of type monster with an arrow function. Don't forget your semicolon. And then we say monster.stun. Now, later on, we would also say that we want to take health down from our actual player, but since this is still testing and things like that, we don't really care about killing our player just yet, since that would kind of defeat the point of testing everything. And that should be it for now. So let's test it out. Yeah, let's try this again. Any errors? Okay, so I'll be... Okay, never mind, it's back. Cool. Now you can see that the projectiles are deleted, but what I have noticed is that when it's in this... So, okay, cool. So here you can see it's not moving, it's not doing anything. And if I shoot it, it like doesn't move. That means it is stunned. Now, this might be a bit OP. We might change it up later again, where if it's already stunned, we can't stun it again. But that should be a tutorial for another day. So let me just stun it a few more times and then close. Okay. So just before you leave, as usual. Okay. So thank you for watching today's tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to drop a like, subscribe. It'll mean a lot to me. And also, if you want to support the channel beyond simply liking and subscribing, head down over to 8bitswag.com. Now, you might notice that it looks a bit different than it did on previous tutorials. I have been hard at work updating my website. So all the products are still here, it's just it looks different. And as you might have noticed, this top bar, it's an app. My store officially has its own app now. It's a progressive web app. So you have to go on to the 8bitswag.com site to install it, but you can install it on both your mobile phone and on desktop. And you can see products. And here you have all the products. And you can go and filter by price, or you can filter by popularity, average rating, latest, low, high, default sorting, or you can even go onto the categories, and here you can see we have over 100 shirts that you can feel free to browse through. So as usual, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome week. Until next week, goodbye.